There'll be one there today.
Well, let's see what properties were up for auction on today's show.
In Stepney Green, East London, is there hidden value right above my head? But remember...
check first who owns the loft space.
No shortage of that valuable loft space in Dartford, Kent, and it comes with an illuminating bonus.
The great thing is there's some natural light coming in over there.
And in Salford, Manchester, there's a lofty issue when it comes to financing this one-bed apartment. So you might find it hard raising the money for a flat like this.
All these properties have been sold at auction. We'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer.
Well then.
I'm in Stepney Green in London's East End. Its popularity has increased recently as property prices are that little bit lower than in its trendy neighbours Shoreditch and Bow.
Well, a large part of this area was badly damaged by bombing during the Second World War, so there is quite a bit of new building. However, the joy is that the property I'm here to see is on this side of the street, where you've still got some period properties. Fantastic. First floor flat is what I'm here to see. The guide price was £380,000 plus. Let's have a look.
Well, I can already see a little TLC is going to be required on the outside. But let's see what the inside has to offer.
So, up the stairs, as is generally the way with a first floor flat, to this little landing area. You've got bedroom 1 there, it's a good size. Bedroom 2, even bigger. Double windows, that's really nice to see. I mean, the whole flat is obviously in need of some major renovations, but I'm not really focusing on that. I'm really just looking at how much space we've got. A loo there, which definitely needs a bit of money spending on it. But then into this room here, which is a really good size. Again, would this be, I don't know, the lounge, another bedroom? It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, and it throws open some really interesting conundrums.
Yes, you could knock through from the kitchen into the lounge to make it more open plan, or maybe divide one of the large rooms up to squeeze in a third bedroom. Decisions, decisions.
Tell me what to do and I will do what you tell me to do. I'll do it till I want to.
Obviously, there is other work to do here. The floors in the hallway are uneven, so I'd get that checked out. But there could be another way to add value.
Well, one thing you're always looking at with flats is ways you could potentially enhance the value by extending. And obviously, in a first floor flat, the option is to go up. Thing is, you've got to check first who owns the loft space. It could be the freeholder, it could be owned by this flat. But when it comes to London properties, London flats in particular, then the amount of money you're going to spend doing that, I think you would definitely get back in terms of what you would add to the value and probably saleability of the flat.
Of course, in cases like this, you would need to check out not just that you own it, but that there's room up there before you start getting carried away. And as this is a leasehold flat, any alterations need the freeholder's permission. The good news is that there is a new lease on this property with 125 years to go. But the big question is, should the flat be reconfigured? We asked a local estate agent to give his opinion.
The temptation is always to separate it to generate more bedrooms, but I do believe that having such a large square footage in an area where space is a premium will make the property present much better in the format that it is now.
Interesting. I must say it does have nice proportions, but there are a few niggles.
I am a little bit concerned about some of the bowing in the floors and in the ceilings. I think a structural engineer should be advised to come and look at the property and give it a clean bill of health.
I too don't like the fact that the floor is so wavy. If this is a big structural issue, you could end up waving goodbye to large sums of money. Assuming all is well and this flat was kept in this configuration but given a facelift, the agent thinks that the rental here could be as much as £1,700 per calendar month. But what could this property, guided at £380,000, be worth on the open market?
I would expect it to go on the market somewhere in the region of £525,000 to achieve offers quite close to that.
And I know he said he would leave the layout as it is, but you know me, I always want to know all the options.
Dividing the property to add an extra bedroom, be it the third bedroom, would actually add quite a substantial amount of value to the potential rental of the property. I would expect it in that case to rise to somewhere in the region of £2,000 to £2,200 per calendar month. But given the fact that we haven't changed the square footage, the sales value will probably remain quite close to what I have suggested.
Well, it's a desirable area and period properties like this are always going to be in demand. So it's really great to find one that needs a bit of work that you can really add value to. So let's see who spotted the opportunity when it went under the hammer.
Lot number 81. We go to London E1, very popular area, up and coming. Nice looking building. Start me at 350. Thank you, sir. 350 down here. 355 anywhere. Good area. 55, thank you, and 60, and 60, and 5, and 5, and 70, and 5, and 80, and 5. No, I've got 380 in the front, 5 anywhere else, 385 anywhere else, against you at the back. 380 in the front row. Great glasses. 380 in the front row. 85, someone standing, and 90, and 95, and 400, and 5, and 10, and 15, and 420. And 25, and 30, and 435. No, shakes his head firmly. Your bid, front row, 430. 5 anywhere else? No, OK. First time then at 430. Second time at 430. I've got my eye on the guy at the back. Third and last time at £430,000, front row. Have we all done? Well done, sir. 430,000. Many thanks.
The final bid of £430,000 was made by local London property developer Jack. Jack mainly deals in buy-to-lets and already owns a few rental properties in the area. So I met him back in Stepney to find out his plans for his latest purchase.
Jack, good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, congratulations. Tell me why you wanted to buy this flat.
I bought this property because when I saw it online and I saw a lot of potential in it, and around here the prices are really going up, so I thought, why not?
So you saw potential. What particularly did you see in terms of
I saw, when I first bought it, I assumed I can turn into a 3-bedroom.
Oh, OK.
Yeah, but then when I went to auction and I came back with my builders, the plan sort of changed a bit. I had 3 builders coming in and they said it's not advisable.
OK.
And then they said keep it as a 2-bed because the clientele here wouldn't take one small living room and a kitchen.
So how's that changed your sort of plan?
Basically, the profit margin from 100,000 went down to 40,000.
Oh, that was a bad day at the office then?
It was a bad day at the office.
Oh, dear.
A bad day at the office or not, Jack is experienced at this game and he isn't daunted by a setback of £60,000.
And was it the area more than anything else that appealed?
The area. Location.
Tell me what's happening around here?
Around here, the prices are skyrocketing. As in, I bought a lot of properties around here since I was younger, and we just double up every 2-3 years. So
wow,
you can't go wrong with it.
Yeah. So when you say younger, did you start young?
I did start young. Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 19.
19? When you first bought your house?
Yeah, flat. Yeah. That's what it is, and I just got into it, and I can't look back.
The future's so bright. I gotta wear shades. I gotta wear shades.
Jack may have been wearing funky shades at the auction, but they definitely weren't rose-tinted. He clearly knows the area and how to make the most of this flat.
So tell me what you plan to do to it then.
I'm planning to just renovate it to a high standard. This property is a Georgian place, so the standards are quite high, and the people that would buy it, they're quite well off.
So what kind of things are you going to do?
I'm going to tile flooring. I'm going to try and do the walls as well, semi-tile.
Oh, OK.
Yeah. And then the bathroom, top-notch bathroom, to be honest. That's what it is, so...
And the kitchen as well,
And the kitchen. The kitchen, I'm going to keep some of the units.
Okay.
Yeah, but because if it was going to be a 3-bedroom, I would have done the kitchen differently because I'm going to keep the 2-bed, so I'm not going to spend a lot of money on the kitchen.
Jack is thinking with his business head here. He wants to maximise the potential profit, but there are, of course, some things that might need tackling.
So what about the floor? Because in the corridor there, it's a little bit...
It's a bit slanted, I know.
Yeah.
So the builders, they told me they're going to put a bit of building, it's like a mushy thing, I'm not sure exactly. So it will straighten the floor.
Oh.
So then we're going to put... We were supposed to put carpets on, but then they said they can put on laminate flooring on.
Oh, brilliant.
So it goes with all the other rooms.
So builder's magic mushy
Builder's
stuff.
magic, yeah. that's why it changed from a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom. I always take on the advice on board.
Well, I'm not sure about the mushy stuff. I'll need to look that one up. I hope his builders are right. Anyway, for Jack, this is all about the money.
Remind us what you paid.
430.
430. And planning to spend how much on the work?
No more than 10,000.
10?
Yeah.
OK. So that's 440,000. How much do you think you might be able to sell it for?
515, 520 maximum.
But you've still trying to make quite a lot.
Yeah, by the time I sell it, it's going to be about 2 months before I sell it, so...
Right. But in a short period of time, make a reasonable...
A reasonable
yeah.
profit, yeah.
Good on you, that's brilliant. So what's the sort of timescale for the work?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks from now, yeah. The builders are, from tomorrow, they're going to start coming in and do it. They're my cousins, so we did a lot of properties together. And they're just going to come in and do it and go, and that's it.
But you got a kitchen to do, you got a bathroom to do?
Yeah, kitchen.
Floor, tiling?
2 weeks is more than enough. I've done a lot of them, so I know how it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Is this what you do full-time, or...?
Not full-time. This is a secondary investment.
OK.
You know, I've got a full-time job, so...
What do you do?
I run an estate agent.
Oh, well, that's convenient then. Well, congratulations.
No.
Good luck with it.
Thank you so
Look
much.
forward to seeing how you get on. Well, Jack starting out in the world of property at a very early age and carrying on to this day, and who can blame him? I think he's got a great property here. My only concern is, can he really get everything done in 2 weeks? You can find out later in the show.
This is Dartford in Kent, famous for the tunnel under the Thames that bears its name. Like many parts of the UK, Dartford did face decline from the loss of some of its heavy industry. However, nowadays this is an area in full multi-million-pound regeneration mode, with 94 million being spent on revamping the town centre.
Well, will all this regeneration rub off on the property I'm here to see? To be honest, by the look of things on the other side of the street, there is still a bit of industry round here. Now, as you can see, it's a bit of a busy main road. You've got lots of lorries and cars and trucks hurtling past. Now, the guide price for this house, £150,000 to £160,000. So let's have a look to see if this bit of Dartford is also in need of regeneration.
Well, at first glance, the roof looks free of broken tiles, and apart from the moss, it's in a reasonable state. And that frontage is good too for visitors.
Certainly enough parking out there for a couple of cars, which is a real bonus, and it's nice and quiet once you've closed the door. Property is in a bit of a state, and actually, when you look, yeah, there's a lot going on in here, and it needs a whole load of modernisation. Paint, carpet, a big old clean. But what I do like is the space. It's already been open planned, so you've got a nice L-shaped kitchen there. I know it doesn't look great at the moment, and a really good area for a family to dine here. You could make the most of this chimney breast like they have done with a bit of a feature wall, but not a bad space at all, and it would certainly work really well for a family.
I'm definitely taken with the 2 good downstairs living areas, and there is an added bit of space out the back.
Well, if you're like me and you're finding it hectic and noisy out the front, I'm very happy to say it's so peaceful out here. Although it's a bit of a mess, I think hiring a skip would be first on my agenda. But let's not turn our nose up at this nice family-sized garden, and you could even think about having a nice conservatory on the back of the house here, because there certainly is enough room.
Back inside and on the first floor, you've got a family bathroom, which needs a bit of work, as does the master bedroom, the second bedroom and the third. Now, this space here has been eaten into somewhat by a set of stairs leading up to the loft space.
Now, in the auction catalogue, it says there are 3 bedrooms and a loft room. This certainly wouldn't pass as a bedroom, and it would be worth applying for planning permission to be able to convert this properly. But it is a great space. You could definitely use this for some storage. You could sit up here and get your laptop and your computer. The great thing is there's some natural light coming in over there. So all in all, I would say this is a bit of a bonus.
OK, so it all needs a clear out and a bit more work besides, but you've definitely got all the building blocks here for a great family home. What does a local estate agent make of the mid-terrace and its auction guide price of $150,000 to $160,000?
I think what you need to do to this property is fit a new bathroom and kitchen. The whole property needs decorating throughout. In my opinion, I think you'd be looking at spending at least £20,000 to update this to a good standard.
Fair enough, but once done up, what might the mid-terrace fetch on the resale market?
Once the property has been updated to a good standard, I would say the property is worth £235,000.
And on the rental market?
In my opinion, the property will rent for £950 per calendar month.
Well, let's face it, this little bit of Dartford is definitely in need of regeneration. But whereas some people see problems, others, well, they just see opportunity. It's the name of the game on this programme.
So let's see who grabbed this opportunity at the auction.
So lot 102, the 3-bedroom house for improvement. Got a guide of 150 to 160. Start me where you will, £150,000. 140 to start me. Thank you very much. 140, sorry, took it there. 142. 142. At 145 and 47. 147 and 150. 150, 152. Back of the room.
It took a while, but the bidding crept up past the top guide price of $160,000. We rejoined the action at £187,000.
187. At 187,000, then gentleman's bid right at the very back of the room. At 187,000, then for the 188 and 9. 189. 190. 191. 191. 192. 193. 192,000 on my right. 193. 192,000 for the first time, 192,000 for the second time, 192,000, third and final time at 192,000, all done. Sold at 192,000.
And that successful bid of $192,000 was placed by Johnny. Johnny is a qualified plumber and electrician who runs a family portfolio. Now, he's been on the show before when he and his uncle Isas bought 2 2-bedroom flats in Bexley Heath.
Did you do much research with these?
No.
Any research?
No.
Did you read the legal pack?
No. Not at all.
Did you view them?
No.
Did you know you were going to buy them?
Not at all.
Johnny and money man Uncle Isas broke all the rules, but after buying blind last time, they did get a healthy profit. With trepidation, I wonder if they've changed their approach.
Now, had you viewed this property prior to auction?
From the outside, yes.
From the outside? So
Just
you
outside.
didn't look inside the property at all?
Nope.
Did you read the legal pack?
Nope.
Did you do any research at all?
No.
Did you know you were going to buy this on auction day?
No.
What? So what happened? How comes you've ended up with this property?
On auction day, we were looking at a different property and we didn't get it. So rather than go home with nothing, I thought we'd buy this.
So what did you do? Just open the catalogue and think, I know the area?
More or less. Yeah, we had looked through the catalogues. We had to dabble in a few others. They went over what we thought they were worth, and we ended up with this one.
Wow, so when you bought this property and you opened the door and you had a look inside, what did you then think?
We got some work to do. But yeah, if you're going to buy blind, you've got to take the risks.
OK, I'm getting a distinct feeling of déjà vu talking to Johnny, but once again, his risk might just pay off, although there still may be a nasty or two lurking under all the stuff in here.
And get me waking up
to-do list, a couple of skips to deal with this tangled turmoil. Should keep Johnny's team occupied for a while.
What will you be doing to transform it?
In 8 weeks, well, we gut it back to the bones.
Yeah.
Rewire it, replumb it, new bathroom, new kitchen. A couple of walls might be coming down.
Really?
Yes.
So tell me about the walls that you can see coming down, because I actually think this ground floor space does work quite well as it is.
It does work well, but unfortunately the kitchen is rather small. There's no worktop space, so we're thinking of separating it, so having the kitchen separate with the wall open, so you have a walk through from the kitchen to diner.
No! Really?
Really.
I think the best thing about this property is the fact that it's got that lovely communal open plan living space, and I think that does work really well for families. And you've certainly got quite a run of, you know, workspace along there. You know, to have a nice table with, you know, your kids having dinner, I think it works.
I mean, it might do, but it's just, as I say, the lounge is very small, so we're still on a drawing board. We haven't decided yet. Once we clean it out and see what actual space we do have, because obviously there's a lot of rubbish everywhere, then we'll go from there and see what works.
Now, what about that loft space? Because I know it's currently a 3-bedroom property with a loft. I mean, there's certainly not building regs up there.
No building regs up there. We could convert it to a 4-bedroom, but you know, then we'd have to do an extension to make it bigger. So what we'd probably do, revert back to a 3-bedroom, put a loft ladder and still have a room up there, so a usable room, but keep it a 3-bedroom with a big loft space.
So what sort of budget are you looking at to do the work here?
Probably 10 to 15,000.
So you think you can do this place top to bottom on 10 to 15,000 pounds?
Yes.
How long do you think it's going to take you?
Normally it takes us about a month. In this case, it will take us 2 months. Just that we have work elsewhere, so we'll be using it as an infill. But yeah, about 2 months this will be up and running, hopefully.
I like Johnny's no-nonsense attitude. He and his family are clearly used to projects like this, and it sounds like the whole thing may be something of a walk in the kitchen.
How did you get into property developing?
A family member bought one house, then we converted that into 3 flats. We liked it, you know, not being told what to do, you know, and it just moved. It progressed from there. Bought another one, and it just all kind of escalated.
And you are very busy. I mean, have you got time to buy any more?
Not at the moment.
And you've certainly not got time to look through that auction catalogue, have you?
And there's always time. There's always time.
Yeah, but you've not got time to do the viewings. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Yes, that's the problem. We haven't got time for the viewings.
I mean, would you ever buy blind again? Would you advocate anybody watching to do what you've done?
No, but I would do it again. It's what we do. At the end of the day, we can put it, like this place here is quite run down, but within 8 weeks we'll have it back up on the market. But it's not very easy if you don't have the contacts and the know-how.
The contacts, the know-how and the confidence, because let's be honest, you didn't look inside it, you didn't know you were going to buy it, you didn't read the legal pack, and you didn't view it.
Well, we had the money in place. That's the only thing we had in place.
You did have the money in place?
Yes.
And are you looking to rent this out?
We're looking to sell it, but again, depending on what the market says, the market will decide.
Do you think you bought this for a bit of a bargain price on auction day because of how it is inside?
Definitely.
Do you think it would have put a lot of people off coming in? Because it is just surface debris and a bit of a smell.
A lot of people are put off by the smell and stuff like that, where you have to look through that, a couple of skips and it's gone, you know, and you're back to the bare bones. But a lot of people get put off by that.
Johnny certainly knows what he's doing and is willing to tackle whatever's behind the front door here, and he also knows the local market.
We have to stand above the rest on the market. So depending on what's going on, we kind of fit into that scale.
And don't forget, it has to stand the test of time, especially if you're renting it out.
Of course. That's it. At the end of the day, there's no point putting too cheap in if you're going to rent it, because you'll be forever coming back. And if I keep coming back, I can't go to the auction, so...
Oh, we don't want to stop you from going to the auction now, do we, Johnny?
No, of course not. No, that's it.
Listen, it's been lovely meeting you today, and I'm so excited, and congratulations, but try and slow down a bit and maybe have a little look through the letterbox next time.
Maybe.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Johnny certainly has a laid-back attitude to property development. Bid for anything that takes your fancy on the day. Just have a flick through the catalogue, and as long as you know the area, that's all right. Don't worry about legal packs or even budgets, nah. Join me later in the programme to find out if his philosophy pays off.
Coming up, high-rise money worries in Salford, Manchester.
I'm going to try getting a mortgage on this place. If not, may have to sell it.
And is Johnny having second thoughts about selling in Dartford?
We had to bear into mind that we might also have to rent for a few years or just leave it on the portfolio.
Back now to the up-and-coming area of Stepney Green, East London, to see this first-floor two-bedroom flat, which was purchased by estate agent and part-time property developer Jack for £430,000 with a view to selling it on.
I bought a lot of properties around there since I was younger, and we just double up every 2-3 years, so...
Wow.
It can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, so when you say younger, how old were you?
I was 19.
19? When you first bought your house?
Yeah, flat. Yeah, that's what it is, and I just got into it and I can't look back.
Jack planned to sort out the uneven hall floor, redo the entire flat's floor covering, refurbish the bathroom and brighten up the existing kitchen and redecorate, all for a very tight £10,000 budget with an even tighter timescale. Okay, lose the blinking plug music! Thanks.
What's the sort of timescale for the work?
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks from now, yeah. The builders are, from tomorrow, they're going to start coming in and do it. They're my cousins, so we did a lot of properties together. And they're just going to come in and do it and go, and that's it.
Well, we're back 1 month later to find out what Jack's achieved, and you can see for yourself.
Don't believe me, just watch. Come on.
New kitchen units on that budget? Is the luxury bathroom possible here? You bet. Quality fittings, tiles and flooring really do funk up this flat. As it was, the lounge wasn't conducive to lounging in. Now...
Don't believe it, just watch.
Seeing is believing with the biggest bedroom.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Contemporary lighting completes the picture, not forgetting the smaller, now much funkier bedroom. Hard to believe all this was done in 2 weeks. Or was it?
It has been 3 weeks, but it's not much of a big deal, to be honest. So it's only a week. It's not another. In the kitchen, I changed most of everything, to be honest. The units, the hob, the oven, the extractor fan, and the sink. The most expensive thing was the marble worktop here, which cost quite a bit, which delayed the project as well.
Waiting for the delivery of the high-quality worktop caused most of the delay. Originally, Jack was planning on spending £10,000 on the whole flat, but this is a high-spec finish, so why the change of plan?
At first I wanted a 3-bed, but after buying the place and getting advice from other people, it was suggested it's going to be too small to have a 3-bed. Then I just renovated to a higher standard as a 2-bed. So the profit probably has gone down a bit, but it's still profit.
The higher spec fittings impacted on the budget too by £1,500, taking it to £11,500. Added to the purchase price of £430,000, that takes Jack's total investment to £441,500. We invited 2 local estate agents around to establish if Jack will turn a profit with his plan to sell on and get their opinions on the work and finish of the property, starting with the agent who saw the flat just after it was purchased.
The property has undertaken a lot of renovation and quite a little bit of work has been done. It is presenting very neutral at the moment, and I think that is a good thing.
My first thoughts were that it was a well-proportioned 2 double-bedroom flat. I'd say in terms of the refurbishment, it was done to a high standard, very bright and airy and well located.
And although Jack isn't planning on renting, it's always worth having a fallback position. So what would a flat like this, in a condition like this, command on the rental market?
It's a very buoyant rental area for professionals looking to sort of relocate into the city commute-wise. In terms of a rental valuation, I would expect to achieve a figure of £1,900 per calendar month.
I think we're looking probably between £1,700 to £1,800 per calendar month. I believe at the top end the property should be furnished because that again will attract a better quality of tenant.
That's an average of £1,800 per calendar month.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. If I was going to rent it, that's the price I would have marketed it for.
That's a yield of just under 5%. Not fantastic, but this was renovated with a resale in mind, not a rent. So how will Jack's £441,500 investment fare on the open market?
I would expect to sell the property in the region of £500,000.
And what about the agent who predicted a resale of £525,000 when he saw it in its original state?
I still believe the property should go on the market for £525,000 to achieve offers quite close to that.
525, that was my ideal initial thought. 525, and that's what I'm going to market it for. And if I market it further, if I wait till a month later, I can market it for a bit more, because the spring comes up and the price always goes up.
Jack knows his business. He's been doing it since he was 19. For 3 weeks' work, he has the potential profit of just under £84,000, less the usual taxes and expenses. So, sticking with the two-bed configuration and going for a high-end finish doesn't seem to have harmed his profit margin from what I can see. And it looks like it's not just high-speed makeovers he does. Selling is high-speed too.
I did speak to a few of my friends who have agents and they said they can sell it within a month or so that should be fine.
I think you can guess the answer to this next one. Will you be back at the auction someday soon, Jack?
To be honest, it's actually going to the auction and bidding with other people. Me, I do go to auctions with my dad and I do get excited, he gets excited, I get excited, and then if something comes up, we snap it up as soon as we can.
It could be argued that Manchester is becoming the rock and roll capital of the North, with a heritage of bands like the Happy Mondays, Oasis and the Hacienda Club. The foundations are clear.
We built this city. We built this city on rock and roll. We built this city on rock and roll.
The property I'm here to see is technically in Salford, but I know Manchester reasonably well, and you're more or less in the town centre. Anyway, it's a one-bed flat. It's on the 17th floor of that. The flat was guided at £60,000, and the block began construction in the 60s. It's one of the tallest buildings in Salford and was once a tax office. Now, the first 11 floors are a hotel, but above that level, the space is given over to 1- and 2-bed apartments. The communal areas throughout, although a little bit dated, have been maintained well. OK, what have we got? OK, a bathroom here which looks in good condition. Slightly dated, but you could tidy that up depending on what you want to do with this flat. You could leave it or change it. What have we got in here? OK, water in there, water storage tank in there. You've got a bedroom here, which is of a decent size. You get a double bed in there, 2 singles quite easily. Nice big window. And then through into the main area here, your lounge, your diner, and your kitchen area as well. So you've got a bit of floor space here. It is a one bed flat, so you get what you see, really, more or less. But the selling point for me is that huge window there, which looks over the whole of Salford and Manchester. But high-rise city living may not be all it appears to be, especially if you don't look out for pitfalls like parking. There isn't any in this block. And the service charge of nearly £1,600 per annum, and there's more. So you like the property and you love the location, but there are a few issues you may have to overcome with a property like this. High street lenders are not very keen on giving out mortgages to properties that are above 5 floors and properties that are above commercial buildings. This is above a hotel. So you might find it hard raising the money for a flat like this. In these cases, there's no substitute for local knowledge, and what better way to get it than to invite a local property expert from the auction house who sold the flat to give his thoughts and valuations on this property. So that's precisely what we did.
Take me up so high. Now I never wanna come back down.
We're near to all the high-end department stores, the good restaurants, good bars. It's a really, really good location and great transport links. This will be popular with buy-to-let investors. However, the property isn't currently mortgageable.
There are a number of reasons why lenders have an embargo on lending on these flats. As well as being above 5 floors and a commercial property, there's a history of repossessions, and the reinforced concrete construction and the general oversaturation of buy-to-let mortgages in the block are all factors.
It's great for a buy-to-let investor that has got the cash and wants a good return because it's a very popular location and the rents are quite healthy on this building.
But what does quite a healthy rental translate to in the rent book?
If this property is tidied up a little bit, you could put it on the market at $750 per calendar month.
Yes, I would say that's better than healthy. If you got it for the guide price of 60 grand, that would mean a 15% yield. Too good to be true? Well, it could be a hard property if you have to sell on. With that in mind, what about the resale value?
If this was to go back out on the market to a buy-to-let investor, you'd be looking at between £70,000 and £75,000.
So this is a great flat with great views as well, but who's going to raise the cash to buy this place when it goes under the hammer?
Leasehold, 1-bedroom apartment, service charge arrears payable by the buyer, 2 telephone bids. Anybody else here for this one? Start me off. Add £50,000, 50 here. Add 50 and bid. Add £50,000 then, win ones, nice and easy for you. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58.
The bidding quickly reaches the guide price and we rejoin at £62,000.
62, 63, 64.
Going in £1,000 bids, we rejoin again at £73,000.
73, 73 on bid, 74, can you? 74 on bid, 75. Not you, sir, 75. 76, can you? 77, you're very close together, you lot. 77, 78 behind you with the waistcoat. No, 78 seated, the original bidder. 78, 79. Back in at 79 in the third row. Original bidder 80. At £80,000 then, first time, on the 5th row. Second time, selling it. Well done, sir. Can I have your paddle number, please? Yes, it's you.
And the successful bid of £80,000, £20,000 over the guide price, came from Mark, who lives in Manchester. I met him to find out more. Nice to meet you, Mark, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell me firstly about the auction experience.
It was quite terrifying. First time being in an auction. And yeah, when I was sat down waiting for it, there were a group of people sat behind me that were talking about bidding on the property that I was there for. So,
scary, isn't it?
Very scary.
Was this your first choice?
Well, I was only looking for that property.
And did you go on your own? Did anybody to support you there?
I was on my own.
On your own for the first time?
I know. I didn't. Yeah, left alone.
You've now got the property that you wanted.
Yep.
You know, now what are you going to do with it? How are you going to turn it around?
Well, luckily it's in a really good condition. Probably would have been a good idea to view it before auctioning on it, but...
You broke one of the hammer rules and you didn't view the property. Oh no. Tell me you read the legal pack.
I read the legal pack.
That's good. Yeah. That's good.
Well, a lot of the apartments in this block, I think there are quite a few repossessions because of the history of the building. They were first sold quite low and then sold for too much, and then everyone lost quite a lot of money.
Yes, you can get your fingers burned in property, as we all know. And you can never take anything for granted, as Mark has discovered since the auction.
I haven't been able to get a mortgage, but what you can do is get a short-term 12-month loan to sort of cover the rest of it. And so I need to see whether or not a mortgage is possible. It's a lot to do with it, with the apartments being above the hotel and it being quite high up, and it's to do with a lot of the other properties being held by the bank as repossessions.
Okay, and that will hinder what your end goal is?
Well, ideally, the end goal is to sort of keep it to rent and everything. All the one beds in this block, they're all the same, but I probably should have. Yeah.
As well as finance problems, Mark has had a bill to settle. In addition to his £80,000 bid, the clue was there at the auction.
Service charge arrears payable by the buyer.
This was disclosed in the legal pack which Mark read. So he was aware there was £3,500 to pay in service charge arrears. That's in addition to the £500 buyer's premium that can arise when property is sold on behalf of a bank or building society who can only agree to pay some of the auctioneer's fee. The buyer has to pay the rest. Another thing to watch out for at the auction is any administration fee, and remember, when the hammer falls on your bid, you will need to pay 10% right away and balance within 28 days. So you need to do your homework. Read the legal pack, check out the auction house's terms and conditions, and factor in your legal and surveying costs. Property developing isn't all about picking kitchens and deciding on what shade of magnolia to have. Talking of which, what are Mark's plans?
Definitely going to give it a new lick of paint. I may look to sort of redoing the flooring. The kitchen's not in too much of a bad state, but it's possibly modernise it. Bathroom, everything. It's in good state.
If you just tidy it up, spruce up, a bit of TLC.
Yeah, a lot of TLC. There's a bit of rust on the on all the windowsills, but. And then in regards to your budget now, lick of paint, tidy things up. Lick of paint. I mean, I've put aside a few thousand just to, but. To be honest with you, there's, like I say, it's very easy. I'm just going to furnish the place. And
it's a simple turnaround, isn't it, really?
Yeah,
it's just cleaning, isn't it? But, you know, from what we can see.
And I know from before and looking at the rental values that they actually do very well because the location in Manchester is... location. Right in the centre of Manchester, Salford. Yeah, we're above all the shops and restaurants. And how long would you like to have all this work done in? Well, hopefully about sort of 4 weeks or so. Because at the end of the day, it is just a paint job. Mark's certainly clued up about this location and rentals. He's aiming to turn this around in 4 weeks, which seems fair enough. Given there's not much to do, and despite all the financial hassles, Mark knows he's got a good flat here. The view's amazing, the sense of space and the light as well. I wish you all the best. Thank you. I hope it works out for you. Thank you very much. Good man. So Mark's had a bit of a nightmare trying to get a mortgage on this property. So will it become the perfect buy-to-let, or will it be a financial nightmare for him? You can find out how he gets on later on in the programme.
Well, it's really fascinating to see how people renovate their properties.
Yep, we've seen one. How are the other two done?
Let's find out.
Back now to Dartford in Kent, where earlier I met Johnny, who together with his uncle Isas bought this mid-terrace for $192,000. But he broke the hammer rule by purchasing before seeing inside.
When you bought this property and you opened the door and you had a look inside, what did you then think?
We've got some work to do. But yeah, if you're going to buy blind, you've got to take the risks.
Amongst the risks Johnny was taking on were the unconventional construction techniques for a loft conversion, which wouldn't pass building regulations, a few skips worth of personal possessions, and not to mention a rather putrid stench.
And are you looking to rent this out?
We're looking to sell it, but again, depending on what the market says. the market will decide.
Do you think you bought this for a bit of a bargain price on auction day because of how it is inside?
Definitely.
Do you think it would have put a lot of people off coming in? Because it is just surface debris and a bit of a smell.
A lot of people put off by the smell and stuff like that, where you have to look through that a couple of skips and it's gone, you know, and you're back to the bare bones. But a lot of people get put off by that.
Johnny's had a busy time renovating other properties and managing the family's portfolio of rentals. So we're back 6 months later. The work was spread out, but Johnny and the team totalled up 2 months. Bang on schedule. Good going. Remember the lounge? Well, it's different now. Johnny has put in new windows, and throughout the rest of the house, there's new central heating and new wine.
Because when we took the door frames out, they were shaking, and obviously now, pretty solid, we can't move it. Replaced some insulation inside the walls for noise from room to room. A lot of the floors were uneven, so we lifted a lot of the flooring areas upstairs and just rejigged it all basically to strengthen it up as well, because obviously put the new walls. But yeah, very much happy with the walls now, all nice and solid.
Upstairs not only has new walls, it's got a new bathroom. The master bedroom is unrecognisable. You could hardly get into the second bedroom with the makeshift stairway to the attic room. Now it's usable space, as is the small bedroom. Proof, if it were needed, that when it comes to refurbishment, he's no Johnny-come-lately. And there's good news outside. But what's happened to the plans to change the downstairs layout?
Actually changed our mind and thought, let's put it back as is, because we're not sure if we're going to sell the property or rent it. If we're going to rent it, it's all nice and small and basic. If we're going to sell it, you know, that they can have that option to adjust there afterwards. So we thought best just leave it as is.
And making the attic bedroom inhabitable?
We decided to take the loft room away, as it just wasn't cost viable. OK, we'd add another bedroom, but we'd have to get necessary consent, and the value that we paid, we just wouldn't have enough profit left for us, basically, in the long run.
Johnny and Uncle Esas have other properties across London. With all the work that's been done, have the plans changed for the Dartford house?
I'd probably like to sell this one and just reinvest somewhere else. But at the same time, when we do these projects, we have to bear into mind that we might also have to rent for a few years or just leave it on the portfolio. If we rent it out and the tenant stays here and we have no issues, we'd just leave it as is. But obviously, it's a bit further out from our other projects, so ideally we'd like to sell it.
Does being qualified in skills or trades help when it comes to estimating for jobs like these? Unexpectedly removing walls can't have been helpful.
I think where my background, obviously electrics and plumbing, it makes a big difference. So we can come in and get it done. I know if someone says to me, oh, the lad says to me it's going to take 3 days, I know it's going to take 2 days, so I can push them a little bit more to get it done because I physically know myself what it involves. And if need be, I'll come down and get involved.
There's been a significant amount of work done here. Has that affected the original £10,000 to £15,000 budget?
We've spent just under 25,000. We've done, with the new windows, the new central heating system, the wiring, basically everything new from the beginnings. I'd have liked it to come in at 10,000, 15,000, but sometimes we just have to spend a little bit more to gain a bit more because there's a lot of properties on the market in the area. So we just need to shine a little bit better than them. So we put a little bit more money in to hopefully get a bit more money out.
To find out if Johnny's hopes might come true, we invited 2 local estate agents round to give us their thoughts on the revamped property.
I like the property. I think what works well is the separate lounge and the kitchen diner. I think it'll appeal to a lot of families.
The standard finish of the property is fairly good. I can see that it has recently been done. Everything's new, carpets, kitchen, bathroom.
Johnny did spend £25,000 refurbishing the house, and although he's not planning on renting just yet, let's find out what he could expect if he had to.
On the current rental market, I would expect this property to achieve between £1,000 and £1,100 per calendar month.
For rental, I feel this property would achieve in the region between £11 and £11.50 per calendar month.
Taking the top figure, that would achieve a yield of just over 6%. But Johnny's preferred option is to sell. He paid £192,000 at auction plus £25,000 to refurbish. So his total spend so far is £217,000. So guys, what's it worth?
In the current market, I believe this property would achieve somewhere in the region of £250,000.
In the current market, I would expect this property to achieve around £250,000.
A unanimous verdict and a potential profit of £33,000 minus the usual taxes and expenses. But is that the level of profit Johnny was hoping for?
If we sell for £250, we make a profit. It's not the best profit, but it's profit. So hopefully we'll put it on the market for a little while, see how the market reacts, and go from there.
Well, that just leaves one question unanswered. Did you manage to track down the source of that horrendous smell?
What we found was a few nappies were actually downstairs under the stairs. So once we got them out and we aired the building a bit, yeah, we got rid of that smell quite quickly.
Oh, don't you just love a story with a nappy ending?
Welcome back to Salford, where for a guide price of £60,000, you could buy a one-bed flat here.
8 miles high.
OK, so it's not quite 8 miles high, but it was all the way up to the 17th floor. But with height comes certain advantages. The selling point for me is that huge window there, which looks over the whole of Salford and Manchester. Yes, with some good-sized rooms and its central location, it certainly had some great points. But it also had some potential problems. The lack of parking, £1,600 a year in service charges, but most importantly, its mortgageability, or rather lack of it, because this block was blacklisted by lenders, so realistically only an option to cash buyers. Guided at £60,000, a flat here went for £80,000 at auction to Mark. But the bad news was he wasn't really a cash buyer.
I haven't been able to get a mortgage, but what you can do is get a short-term 12-month loan to sort of cover the rest of it. So I need to see whether or not a mortgage is possible.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I want money. That's what I want.
Mark had a budget of £2,000 and a timescale of 3 to 4 weeks to make the flat rentable. But apart from the odd bit of maintenance, this flat wasn't in bad nick at all, which was lucky, as he hadn't seen it at all before he bought it. But everything paled into insignificance in the face of that mortgage question. Just under 3 months later, and we've returned to see how Mark's got on. With bright sunshine coming from those windows and some furniture in, it really is beginning to look like home.
We've given the whole place new liquid paint, put laminate flooring throughout the living room, changed the lighting and the radiators. I was going to redo the kitchen, but because of the problems that we had with getting the mortgage and not knowing the big plan of the future, decided just to leave everything as is.
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Getting a mortgage on this property was Mark's big worry. Where does he stand at the moment?
Well, basically, at the start, I took out a short-term loan to cover the rest of the debt, which has to be paid off within about, 12 months. With doing that, you can't get a mortgage within the first 6 months of buying it outright. So after the 6 months, I'm going to try getting a mortgage on this place. If not, I may have to sell it which would be a big shame.
It would be a shame, because Mark has even more at stake now. To complicate matters, Mark and his girlfriend have accepted an offer on their current home. And because he can't get a buy-to-let mortgage on the flat, they've decided to move in here in the short term. Mark's confident that he can find a specialist loan company and that eventually he'll be able to rent out the flat. With all this in mind, we've asked 2 local estate agents along. Being local, they'll know these properties and their problems better than most.
The layout of the property would suit owner-occupiers and renters. It's very good size. Both main rooms, the bedroom and the living room, very practical shapes, and it would suit, as I say, the majority of homeowners and renters.
There's no question that these are great apartments, but there is that big issue. You can't change their position above a commercial unit.
The main issue with some lenders is what happens if that commercial premises is no longer in existence. Who's going to be responsible for the maintenance of the building?
It is possible to get buy-to-let mortgages on properties like these, but some lenders don't like a high concentration of them in one block, so there may be hope for the future. Mark spent £80,000 purchasing this place. He had service charge arrears to pay of £3,500, and he spent £2,000 refurbishing it, bringing his total investment to £85,500, not including expenses like the auction, legal fees or taxes like VAT. Has this rather rocky road into property developing put him in the red or black?
If we were to bring this to market, we'd be looking to achieve £80,000 to £85,000.
If this was on the market today, I would suggest a marketing price between £80,000 and £85,000.
Rental-wise, this apartment should perform well. I'd anticipate that we'd bring to market around about £650 per calendar month.
If this property was on the rental market today, we would suggest a figure up to £650 per calendar month.
Well, it's only been 3 months since Mark bought this property, and there was not a lot of room to add value in such a short time, so it's currently not in profit. However, those rental figures would offer potentially just over a 9% yield.
Do your research, definitely read the packs, view the property, but yeah, check everything before.
I hope we've given you something to think about if you are considering visiting a property auction.
Yes, and even if you're not contemplating going to the auction, there is another way for you to get in on the auction action.
Yeah, make sure you join us next time for more Homes Under the Hammer. See you then.
Bye.